today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how you are supposed to use the Ichimoku for trading boom and crash and volatility indices, right? So let's jump right into it. So firstly, let me just show you. So this is the Ichimoku right here. This red and the green dots that you see, and this blue line, right? So that's our Ichimoku, right? So how do you set this up, right? So let me show you how to set it up quickly, right? So press your F for the indicators over here, right? Then as you can see, I've only got the Ichimoku here on my chart. Let's press the Ichimoku, right? So it's just the default settings, right? Tenkan-san 9, Kinjun-san 26, and Sengunga span B is 52, right? Then click done, right? Then right over here on the colors, right? So just copy these colors as they are, right? Especially just the green, red, and this blue line, right? The first and the last, you can just put them white or the color of your background, right? Then you can click done. If you want to view, let me show you what the view chart looks like, right? So but personally I don't like filling because I want to see my candlesticks clearly, right? So if you fill up your chart, the Ichimoku will look something like this, right? So you can choose if you want to leave it filled or not, right? But personally I don't like the filled one because I want to see my candlesticks clearly, right? Then click done, right? So this is what I want my chart to look like, right? So over here, how do you use this strategy now, right? So it's quite simple, especially if you put these colors that I instructed you to use, right? So what do you have to look for, right? So generally if the MACD cloud, if the Ichimoku cloud, this cloud over here, cloud is the red or the green over here, right? That's the cloud, right? So if the cloud is below the candlesticks, right, it's showing that it's what? It's an uptrend, right? So if the cloud is below, right over here, the candlesticks closed over here, and the cloud is now below what? Somewhere over here, it shows that is what? Is an uptrend, and this cloud turns green, right? So that it's simpler for you to know that the trend has changed, right? So if the trend is an uptrend, the cloud is green. If the trend is a downtrend, the cloud is red, right? I think that's simple, right? Now for your entries, how do you enter and when do you enter, right? So basically I've got two entries when using this one, when using this strategy, right? So the first entry is when so firstly the cloud is to change either a certain color or the same color that is it, right? So first thing that you have to do is wait for a pullback, right? So after the pullback, where do you enter, right? So firstly you can enter when the candlesticks pull back to the blue line over here, right? So that will be your first entry, right? And the second entry is if this blue line isn't respected, right, the candlesticks will come to the cloud over here, right? So that's just a heads up for what we are supposed to get, what you're supposed to be looking for, right? So right over here, right, we go to pull back to the moving average, go down a little bit, then pull back to the cloud, continue going down. So as you can see, you can use this strategy for both catching spikes and catching your ticks, right? So right over here on the blue line, you enter and you hold just like that, right? So that's how simple the strategy is, right? So if it doesn't pull back, like over here, if it doesn't pull back to the blue line or the red cloud, you don't enter, right? You have to wait for the safer entries, right? So what are your stop losses? So if you are catching spikes, right? So let's just take for example over here, right? Over here, right? We've got just green over here. So we're catching spikes, right? So you enter over here and push back to the cloud. You enter and it spikes. You are in money, right? Over here, you enter and it comes back to the blue line. So this was the confluence of blue line and the green cloud. You enter, right? But over here, if you entered over here on the blue line, right? It didn't pull back after it made a pullback, right? And it didn't what? You probably will be what? You'll be suffering a lot of losses over here, right? So what's your stop loss? When you're catching spikes, generally 3 to 5 candlesticks, that's your stop loss. If it is the 1 minute time frame, right? 3 to 5 candlesticks, that's the best, right? And when the cloud, your stop loss is when the candlesticks break what? Break the cloud, right? So let's say you ended over here, right, in the middle of the cloud, right? When the candlesticks what? Break that cloud, that's your stop loss, right? So that's how you're supposed to what? How you're supposed to do this, right? But when you're using this on the what? On the 1 minute time frame, I just like catching spikes. Why? Because there isn't much of your candlestick confirmation on the 1 minute. So maybe the 5 minute or the 15 minute will be best, especially when you're entering when using what? When using the cloud, right? So when you're using the cloud, I prefer that you use the 5 minute time frame or the 15 minute time frame. Those are the best. Why? Because you have a candlestick confirmation before what? You enter that trade, right? So for example over here, right, this is a pullback to the cloud, right? As you can see, there's rejection over here. This is the 5 minute time frame, right? So there's rejection over here. That's a candlestick confirmation to show you that what? We are most probably going to reverse going downward, right? So that's how you're supposed to do this using what? Using the Ichimoku, right? So right over here, let me just check if there's another example, right? So over here on the 5 minute time frame, as you can see over here, we've got a pullback to the blue line, right? And we've got what? Our railroad tracks over there, right? The green and the red, and it falls down, right? So that's how simple this strategy is. And if you've got any questions, leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll address it, right? Pullback to the blue line, right? So generally, I just enter using what? The blue line, because what? My stop loss will be smaller, right? Because I know just after 3 to 5 candlesticks in the time frame that I'm using, I will cut my stop losses, right? But the cloud is used if you have got another confirmation. Why? Because the stop loss will be much larger, right? If you're measuring what? Distance from, if you enter over here up until here, this will be your stop loss, right? And the cloud gets broken, right? So as you can see, this is about what? About even 8 candlesticks, right? So that would be what? A lot of loss, right? So generally just stick to the blue line if you are new to trading, right? If you haven't mastered what the cloud right yet, right? If you are using the cloud, make sure you use other confluences, right? So just stick to what? The blue line, and you get entries like this, right? So now let me show you how it works on the volatility indices. Let me just go to the volatility, right? So it's just the same rules, right? But on the indices, there's no spikes, there's no ticks, right? It's just you just enter either direction, right? There's no distinguishing between. So over here, we enter over here when it goes back to the blue line, blue line, blue line. We enter green line, green line. We enter because it's what? It's an uptrend already, right? So that's how simple it is. Right over here, we enter your sales over here. Enter your sale, enter your sale, enter your. As you can see, it's quite simple, right? That's how simple this strategy is. So try it out on demo first, and leave a comment on what you think about the strategy. And if you've already tested it out, leave a link comment showing how it is worked out for you so that you can help other guys. Right? So if you like the content, like, subscribe, and share the content. That's it.